the stars, driving down the boulevard at night. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Casino Chocolate Man in Thailand. How's everybody on Reeshard Travel tonight?
You don't mind if I have a cocktail, do you?
It's a pleasure to be on here, but it's a bit late.
Great to be here, and thanks for having me.
And you make the cat sound like ew, ew.
Yeah.
Can you make that?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday Live Show. Yes, I am actually excited that I made this week because I've been very sick this week, guys. You might not see it on my expression today, but wow, this was a rough week. I hope everyone had a much better week than I did. I felt like I was on my deathbed come Tuesday, Wednesday. I literally thought that this was going to be the first live show I was going to have to cancel, and I had such a big guest coming on in Foreigner Joe. So I don't know what it was, guys. I don't know if it was the situation or just like a stomach type virus, but man, I was not well. And the weird thing about being sick like I was is it was only really at night. I was able to kind of rally. Once I kind of got up and working and going around, I felt okay, but I was not sleeping at all through the night. Oh, horrible pains, this kind of stuff. Had a video consultation with my doctor. Which those things suck, by the way. Not a big fan of the video doctor appointments. He basically told me, like, let's wait a couple of days to see how this works out. No help at all. So I was basically on my own. I was texting with some of my mods during the week saying, guys, I hope I get over this because I really feel horrible. But hey, best thing happened. I got over it about Thursday, Friday. Yesterday was the first day I was feeling normal. So I'm so glad to be able to talk to you guys today. For those of you that don't know, I have done 29 of these Saturday Live Show interview formats consecutively, have not missed an appearance. So that's like 7.5 months worth of shows. So I'm quite excited about that. And yeah, so rough week, guys, but I'm happy to have you guys in front of me today. The cool thing that did happen, you might remember last week on the live show, I mentioned that I was going to be getting delivery of this. The DJI Osmo Pocket 2, guys. I got one like Foreigner Joe. Foreigner Joe's got one of these. So I got the cool creator combo. So great. Such a great combo kit. If you guys are thinking about getting one of these, get the creator combo, it's called. It comes with all kinds of helpful accessories that you'd have to buy anyways. So I took delivery of that. The crappy thing is I wasn't able to go out and do any filming because I was so sick. So I was just admiring it from afar. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting that thing working today. Let me welcome a couple people in because I'm talking too much this morning. Obviously had too much caffeine. Let me welcome some people in. and mention, I put my banner up here today, my Saturday live show. Our guest today is Foreigner Joe. We'll be having him come in about 10 minutes, 10 minutes. We're going to bring him on. So definitely hang in there, guys. We got 44 in the chat so far. That's great. Let me go back over here to the comments, see who we got coming in. Day State Fox, the legend. Hey, saying hello to everyone. Appreciate that. CJ Paradise. Hey, nice to have you, man. Not to be confused with the other CJ Paradise. Same, but different. There's so many different names out there, guys. So Robert McInasia joining us today. Awesome. Thank you. Rusty Spygoat. Nice to have you, man. I think, Rusty, you were the first one in the chat today, and you win absolutely nothing. But I have my appreciation, man, of being the first one in there. I love seeing the comments. So just so you guys know, I'm in the live stream like an hour before, getting things set up, making sure everything's looking good. So I do like seeing people in the chat early. It's nice to see you guys getting in there, which is helpful. Mr. Mitch saying hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. I hope that you're doing well as well, Mr. Mitch. Mango Sticky Rice, my San Francisco brother. Aloha, Richard, Joe, and Gift. Should be a great show. So the unfortunate thing with the time zone is Gift is actually long asleep, but Foreigner Joe is awake. I'd actually tested. He's awake, and he's in a good mood today. So it's going to be a great interview. I'm looking forward to having him on the show. I've been chasing him for a while. We're going to talk about that because there's some funny back and forth with text messages and communications. I was politely persistent in getting Joe on the show today. So appreciate that. Robert McInasia saying hello to everyone. Let's see who else we got in here today. Awesome. Tommy J saying hello to everyone. Appreciate that. Everyone got a great community in here. And just for those that might be new to the channel today, so my channel is focused on Thailand tips and tricks for your next Thailand trip. I don't know when that's going to be happening, guys. I'm living vicariously through my guests that are currently in Thailand. So if you're interested in hearing from others, definitely this is the channel to be associated with. And looking forward to having that conversation with Joe a little bit later. That's great, guys. Keep the conversations going. Oh, good. We got Jeff Johnson in again today. Hello, Jeff. Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate that. Jerry Mossy. Awesome. From Virginia. Ooh, snowy in Virginia. Yeah, it's actually interesting. So I can't really complain too much because those of you that know, I'm in San Francisco, but it's been unseasonably cold in San Francisco. It's actually been interesting. So it's been like in the 40s Fahrenheit here. And that's pretty cold for us here in San Francisco. Usually it doesn't drop below 50. Usually it's in the mid 50s. So yeah, sorry to hear that you have snow there, or maybe that's good for you to see. I know a lot of people that I talk to that reside in hot climates like Thailand or Singapore or Vietnam or Laos. They actually, their goal is to get to a cool climate for vacation. So I know a lot of people that actually live and work in Singapore say they want to get out on a vacation to go somewhere cold. So maybe they'll end up in Virginia with you, Jerry. So Tommy's saying we got the A team in the house. So yeah, I want to definitely call that out. Thank you to all the moderators today. Appreciate that. You guys run a tight ship. For those that might be new to the live stream today, so they're going to be removing any comments that violate YouTube's terms and conditions. And what that means is we got to be mindful of not saying the situation by its name. We have to refer to it as the worldwide illness or the situation. So I'd appreciate if you kind of keep that in context today. They'll be removing comments. And then I would say don't take it personally. Just rephrase the comment. And I'm sure they'll allow it to go back up there again. But I do have a lot of good moderators in the chat today, and they've been working with me for 8-9 months now, so I appreciate them helping me out. And then one thing to keep in mind, so I do have an edited video series as well. For those of you that don't know, so my video series is called Reeshard Returns to Thailand, and it chronicles my return to Thailand after about a 10-year absence. I had a new job. I had to build up the vacation time like we all have to do in America these days, the rat race. You can't just come into a new job and take vacation. You have to work there for a while, build it up, that kind of stuff. So it's been about 10 months since my last vacation. I came just as the situation was kicking off in Bangkok specifically. So it's kind of a crazy time to holiday in Thailand. And I have a 10-part series that chronicles that. And for those of you that don't know, I actually put together a little promo. I'm going to hit you with it right now. It's a little 30-second. One of my favorite parts of the Reeshard Returns to Thailand series is my Vegas versus Pattaya. And It's one of my favorite ones that I did, but it's the worst performing, one of the worst performing. So I always thought it would do better than it did because it kind of chronicles like Vegas versus Pattaya, kind of a controversial subject. But take a look at this, and maybe it'll pique your interest. I have been asked, why do I travel 8,000 miles to Pattaya instead of traveling just 500 miles to Las Vegas? Sin City shares a lot of similarities with Pattaya. It's an internationally renowned resort city that is known primarily for its nightlife.
Make the booty bounce on the dance floor.
At each beer bar complex, you will find many individually operated beer bars. If you don't like the vibe at one beer bar, you are just a couple of steps away from a new experience. The question remains, who wins in this informal challenge of Las Vegas versus Pattaya? So I had a lot of fun putting that video together, and it took me probably the better part of a week to put all the footage together. And I just kind of had a fun time, comparing the two. The net from it all was I found Vegas to be very expensive. And it's actually a little depressing for me because all the money you spend in Las Vegas on the shows and this kind of thing would last you a lot longer in Thailand. So that's kind of the net of the video. I'd appreciate anyone that kind of goes in there and takes a second look or not. Hey, I'm not forcing you to do it. Not going to wrangle your arm to go take a look at it, but definitely consider it. So guys, we've now reached the point of the live show where we get to bring our guest on. I'm very excited about this. So my first guest today, my only guest today, I don't know why I keep saying my first guest on these shows, but my guest today is Foreigner Joe. Foreigner Joe's from New Jersey. He's currently residing in Thailand. And I'm going to talk to him about a wide array of things today, but I first want to welcome him into the live show. Guys, please put your comments in the chat, and we're going to ask him a lot of questions, but please join me in welcoming Foreigner Joe.
Hey, Richard, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Thank you for having me on your channel. Thank you. Yeah. Mainly, I did this for your mother, just so you know, but we'll talk about that later.
No, we can talk about it now because it's so funny. I was going to say, like, I've been chasing you for so long, man. I consider to be politely persistent. Like 7.5 months now, I feel like I've been emailing, texting you, trying to convince you to come on. You said no to me a couple times, but
I've been avoiding you for 7 months, but you are persistent. So, when you threw your mom in a picture in one of your previous texts, I said, "Oh man, okay."
and just so other like creators that may hear from me, just so you know, that's kind of like my last attempt to get you on the show is like, listen, Joe, my mom likes your videos. She watches your channel.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned, but this is new to me, and I think I've already been blocked. I wanted to say hello to everyone in the comment section, but I don't know how to comment. So, hello, everyone. Someone blocked me already, I guess. I don't know. I can't even comment.
That's concerning and hilarious. So funny. So welcome to the show, man. Definitely want to talk to you about a couple of things. I know that currently what's happened recently was the big weight loss challenge that you, Chocolate Man in Thailand, and Chuck from No Time to Be Sad kind of went through. And that was a pretty competitive little series you guys were under, right? You guys took it seriously.
Well, me and Chuck maybe have taken it a little seriously, but I know Chocolate Man in Thailand, James is on here. I think he was just in it every time he seen us working out or sweating, he was eating a piece of chicken or something. I don't know.
And I think that's an accurate statement because at the weigh-in, James lost 1 kilo.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what? Someone needs to recalibrate the scale. I was surprised to see that. Like, come on, man. That's 2.6 pounds. Is that what that is?
But he lost some weight, so you have to give him credit.
Yeah, you're a gentleman.
Credit. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I think it was interesting. So you put together a cool video that was called, talked about how I lost 26.5 pounds in 30 days, which was essentially what you lost during that weight loss challenge. And I know you and I talked last week about this. I know that it's like one of your favorite videos. You really had a lot of fun putting together. but it didn't really perform as well. And I can really relate to that because I have like a video I just chronicled that I enjoyed putting together, but nobody watched. And people watched your video, but I feel like the reason people should watch it is because it's more than just a video talking about diet and working out. It's really a story about like you're growing up in poverty, very, very poor, and being bullied as a child. So I guess my question, my long-winded question to you is, you know, why was it important for you to make that video to kind of talk about growing up and such?
Well, I always like sharing my journey and my story, but I really wanted the main reason I did this is I really wanted to. I always hear the naysayers, you know, I can't do this for whatever reason. I can't do this, and it doesn't. It's just not about losing weight. It could be about anything in life, you know, maybe quit smoking, maybe quit drinking, whatever that challenge may be. And I was hoping that this would really motivate people, that to show them that if you really put your heart and mind to something, you can do it. You're going to have obstacles in the way. You know, I got sick. I had that food poisoning during that challenge. I really wasn't able to work out for 3 days the way I wanted to. Otherwise, I probably would have lost another 1.5 kilos. But that was an obstacle. But I just wanted to show that you could get around those obstacles. And that's what I did in life too. You know, when I was younger, we were poor. We didn't have much, but we were happy with what we did have. And it taught me a good work ethic that if you really want something in life, you're going to have to work for it. But you can do it, you know, and basically that's what this video was about, showing people that no matter what you go through in life, you can overcome those obstacles. You can do it if you tell yourself you can do it. But it takes you. I could talk all day long, but it's going to take the person to really make that happen, the person that wants it bad enough, you know. And that's basically what the video was about. And it being the beginning of January, you know, one would think, what does everyone do? New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose weight. I thought it'd be a hit. You know, I lost 26 pounds in 1 month. That wasn't an easy challenge. That took a lot of work. Trust me, a lot of work.
Yeah, I think you said a lot of great things there, Joe. And I think one of the things I want to double click in was the obstacles. So you mentioned about the food sickness you had. You profiled that on the video, but I mean, how concerned were you? You mentioned like you had, I think you said you took some fruit and that might have caused what you had.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah, piece of fruit. Gift had bought it from the street vendor. You know, I wasn't going to the because of the diet. I wasn't going to the bathroom like I needed to, so I figured let me try a piece of that fruit. And we drove. God, I forget. We were in one location, drove to another location, and within the 4 hours of getting there, I felt dizzy. I knew something was going on, and I knew it was a foodborne illness. So I got Gatorade, which I didn't want because Gatorade, you know, especially, you know, 3 days out before a weight loss challenge, you know, you're trying not to gain weight, and you put that back in you, and I was already, you know, dehydrated, you know, drinking as little water as possible the last week. I've done this before. I know what to do. And once I put that Gatorade in me, 2 bottles of that easily gave me another pound and a half, you know. So I just, and then with all of that, I went to the gym. They didn't open till 2:00. Then when I did convince them to open a gym, because I'm in this weight loss challenge, I convinced them to open a gym, and I get there and they have 3 machines that you could do cardio on, and none of them worked. So I was like, and I didn't want to lift weight because when you lift weight, believe it or not, you can gain weight because muscle is heavier than fat. A lot of people probably know that. So, you know, just 2 ounces. I didn't want 2 ounces. I wanted to win this challenge, you know.
I knew I was funny, Joe, because I mean, you're such a competitor. I think the rest of us, if we had that foodborne illness, our thoughts would have been around, I just want to live. Like when you're having that and going through it in the toilet and doing all that stuff, like you just want to live. Like the weight loss competition is like not even on my mind if I'm going through it. So like hats off to you for going through that and still staying focused.
I don't know if you caught this in the video. If it was in that video, I think it was. When I was sick, I was on a bed. I had my shirt off, I guess. And I was letting everything up. And I'm not sure if you heard this, but I didn't have my hat on, and I said to Gift, "Does my hair look okay?" You know, and I'm in the middle of like barfing all over the place. Does my hair look okay? So it's kind of so the next day when I woke up, I was ready to go to the gym. I was just ready to go to the gym. So yeah, I guess I did take this a little bit competitive.
Now, did Gift end up getting sick from the fruit?
No, Gift didn't get sick from the fruit. Believe it or not, Gift bought the fruit, but she didn't really eat it. I did. She kind of left it there, and I took a piece of it, and she carried it with her. Good thing she didn't eat it. But Thais, they I hate to say this, but Thais, they got a strong immune system anyway because they're used to eating the street food and stuff like that. So she would have probably, even had she eaten some of it, she probably would have not even noticed it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's always a big concern of mine because Thai people don't get sick from a lot of things, and we do. Did you leverage like charcoal pills at all during that sickness you had?
No, because normally what you do with the charcoal pills is you take them before you eat something.
Oh, okay.
And again, I knew what I was eating, and I thought just a little piece of fruit, but everything else I was eating was basically salad and salmon or chicken breast or something like that, So the little piece of fruit I didn't even think about. Well, let me take a few charcoal pills before I eat that,
Nice. Martin has just a comment there. I was going to profile because Martin's he's associated with the NDTVI channel and does that weekly show and then Boots on the Ground. And it's funny because I sent Martin a text message trying to get him on the live show. And I was trying to think of an angle that might be appealing to him. And it was around like, hey, let's talk about the technical stuff behind the scenes on the show you do, all the camera stuff. And he did not take the bait. He was like, no one wants to hear about that stuff, Richard. I was like, damn it. So I talked to my moderator, Tommy. I'm like, yeah, I sent Martin a text message about this. It's like he told me, he said, yeah, that was kind of a crappy text to send Martin. I don't think he's going to want to come on the show. So Martin, I'm still after you. I'm going to think of a new angle to come at you. But thanks for joining the show, man. Appreciate that. And then Chocolate Man in Thailand is in the house. You called it. And CJ Paradise had a question for you. He said the live video is very nice that Joe put out. Is that different from that weight loss video?
The life video. I'm not sure which one he's talking about. Is he talking about why I decided to move to Thailand? I'm not sure which one he's talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one that's called life video, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then Chocolate Man says that he's eating right now.
I'm sure he is. Enjoy, James.
Yeah. That's funny.
I'm still watching my weight.
Yeah, so I was going to talk to you about that. So, the big thing for you there, well, actually, there's two things I want to talk to you about. One of them that I was surprised about that, when you were walking, you mentioned about all the back issues that you currently have. Like you do have back issues, but in the video, the working out you're doing a lot of core work. Was that causing your back pain to be better, or was it kind of aggravating it for you?
It was aggravated. I mean, when I say I have back pain, what I meant by that is I live with back pain. I do. Maybe it's just old age, but I'm sure there's more to it. I did break 4 vertebrae in my outer spine one time. I took a fall, and I've really started noticing my back issues then a little bit more. My knees have always ached. So, but once I put my mind to something, I don't think about all of those things. I just do it, and I later on in the evening, if I need ibuprofen, I take them. That's what I was doing.
Have you always been like that, Joe? Have you always been this competitor for as long as you can remember?
Yeah, I was. I always like to challenge myself. I always it's not about being in a competition with someone else. It's about being in a competition with myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think James is the one who actually threw us into this weight challenge. He's actually the one that started this whole craziness. But actually, I'm happy he did because, we say, hey, I want to lose weight or whatever. And we can talk about it all day long, but until you do it, you're not going to lose the weight, right? Something has to motivate you. So that kind of motivated me, but also myself knowing, I'm be 60 years old in a few months, and I had something to prove to myself. So yeah, my competitive side is with me, not with anyone else. I mean, I would have been happy if James would have won, if Chuck would have won. I could tell you that would have never happened because I wouldn't have let it happen. But I would have been upset. I would have been upset at myself.
Yeah, and I feel like it was a tremendous inspiration to me. I kind of shared this story with you a week ago saying, the one live stream that you did where you had the 15-kilometer walk, that got me off my ass. that got me off the couch and got me walking. I've lost a little bit of weight since then, kind of given up alcohol for a while and just trying to be focused on being more healthy. But thank you for that, because that live stream, I'm sure that inspired a lot of people. But
it did. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, some emails, some folks actually said I'm doing a challenge with you, and I'm really happy for those folks, because that was part of the intent, was to hopefully motivate everyone, to do something. Again, it just doesn't have to be losing weight. I mean, you don't want to ask a 150-pound guy to lose 20 pounds. Maybe he just wants to quit smoking, or she, or whatever, and maybe that would motivate them to do that. That was my hopes anyway.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you're a strong guy now, but one of the things you mentioned in your video is growing up when you're a teenager, you're pretty small. Like, you didn't eat much.
Yeah.
What was? Yeah. I think you said your weight was like 112 pounds when you went into the service.
100 when I went in the army. I went in the military the day I turned 18. I mean, it was what we call the late entry program. Some folks may know what that is, if military term. But I joined the army in 1978, but I went in 1979 on my 18th birthday. And when I went in, I weighed 119 pounds. Prior to that, actually, I was in Houston, Texas with my brother. I never told this part of the story, but I was in Houston, and we were playing street football. You know what street football is? You just on a pavement with a bunch of guys. And about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, I went to Houston. My brother was living in Houston at the time. Then I went back to Fort Worth. That's where I left to go into the Army. And we were playing street football, and I fell, and I hit my wrist. And I hit it so bad that if I was to move it just a little, pick up a pen or whatever, it was that painful. And I was really concerned that I'm not going to be able to get into basic training because of that pain in the wrist. But I'll tell you what, when I got into basic training, those drill sergeants scared the shit out of you. So I never even, they get down and do push-ups. I never felt the pain again. I didn't even think about it until after I got out of basic training, actually years later. So it could have been a mental thing where I thought I had the pain. It went away. So just worked through it.
And the reason I bring that up is, like, most people wouldn't believe that you were bullied as a kid. They would look at you now and say, that would never happen. Joe, you're a big, strong guy. Like, that would never happen. But it did happen. And I think that one of the most compelling stories you told that resonated for me, because I was actually bullied at my school growing up. I was one of those late bloomers, very short, scrawny guy. And then all of a sudden I took off one summer. But I remember being in a classroom where I had an a-hole that used to push his desk in my back every day, all day long. And it's the worst. And I put up with it until one day it snapped and I said, no. And I remember I got up. I had no idea what I was doing. I pushed him against the wall, just trying to land blows. The teachers broke it up. And I felt so empowered because that day I said, no more. And you sort of had a similar situation to where you got bullied. You got in a fight and it didn't end well for you. And remember, you went home and you said to yourself, like, no, this is not happening again. You want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, actually, it wasn't I got in a fight, because he was the one fighting and I was the one taking a beating. But I did go home that day, and kind of really, I don't know, just as a kid, really feeling bad, like embarrassed, I let this kid, other kids around, you know how it is in the city, all the kids gang around and they're watching you get your butt whipped and everything. And I'm thinking, I didn't fight back. Why didn't I fight back? If I would have at least fought back, maybe I'd still get my ass beat, but I would have, maybe got in one blow at least. I didn't know at the time. So I got home and I really, really thought about it, even at that young age. And I said, I will never let this happen to me again. And next time I am just going to fight back. I'm just going to fight back. And I did from that day forward. And one day, that was that weight on me, that kid, I knew where his street was. I knew where he lived. And I said one day to myself, after I've had a few fights, I said, I'm going to walk back down that street again. And I hope he's there. And and my heart was pounding, and I thought for sure I'd get another whooping. But I said, this time I'm going to show him that I'm just not going to stand there. Maybe the other kids that were there the first time will be standing around and see I'm just not going to stand there and take it. So that's the way it works. They see you get your butt beat, then everybody thinks they could pick on you. It's like, okay, free fall, we could pick on them too. So I had to go back and prove a point that I'm at least going to fight. Well, I shocked myself, actually, because when I put my fist up, he barely got a punch in, So I kind of surprised myself even at that as small as I was, and he just went down and he gave up. And yeah, it was a proud moment. it was a proud moment. So from that day forward, I told myself, you know what? If you really want something in life, there's a way to get it. You may not always, like I said, you may not always win. You're always going to have obstacles. There may be something in the way, but you got to find your way around that. You have to find your way around it and through it. And that's the way I look at life now. When I got out of the Army, I didn't have got out of the Army. I had all of these, I'm going to get the best job. I got the best training, and it didn't work out that way. I was married to a German. We went back to Germany, and I was barely making ends meet. I had a son at the time, just one son. And I just kept looking for another opportunity. I never gave up. I just wanted to make $1 or $2 more. And every time someone said no to me, in my mind, I said, it's because something better is out there. Something better is going to happen. And sure enough, a few years later, I wound up in a best career. I loved my job. I had a great career. I got loved it. So just don't give up.
Yeah, I feel like that was an interesting story you had, because you were struggling. You were like 19 years old then. You had a job that was barely paying the bills, and then you decided to get some additional training to maybe switch professions. And that's a great story, because as I understand it right, there's different levels to that career you're in. From 1 to 15, you got to level 14, and you really took off from there, right? Yeah.
Well, I was in the Army for 4 years. So I got out of the Army when I was 21. The end of it was September of 1982 is when I got out of the Army. So what happens is, in the Army, you go in. I joined for 3 years and I signed a contract. A lot of people signed for 3, for 4 years. I signed for 3. I got stationed in Germany, got married to a German. So once I got married, I went on what we call command sponsor. I had to extend 6 months in the Army so I can command sponsor. They pay for your housing and stuff like that, if you will. So I got out of the Army when I was 21. And then I struggled after that for about 4 years. And then I landed in 1988. I landed in my job in the Department of Defense, an agency in the Department of Defense. I started out actually a volunteer, like I said. I started out with just working for free, and then an opportunity came, a position opened. I took that position, and I just went from the bottom to the top. I just pushed myself. People used to tell me there too, you work too hard, don't work too hard. They're going to expect more from you. Why are you doing this? You're not going to get any. And I love when people tell me I'm not going to be able to do something, because that's when I feel I have something to prove. So the people that were telling me I can't make it, those same people, I was not only their supervisor or their boss, I was their boss's boss 3 levels up at one time, and I'm not the type of person to hold that against them and say, remember, I always respected them. I always showed that respect. I never brought that to their attention, what they used to say to me. I would just, do my job, and they would do their job. So
that's great.
Just got to.
Teacher Thomas has kind of a rhetorical question. What's your favorite YouTube channel, Joe? Teacher Thomas considers you like his older brother.
My favorite YouTube channel besides mine is Gifts.
Great answer. Yeah, and Gift had a funny video. So just so you know, Gift does have her own YouTube channel. Hilarious video that I think she titled it "My Funniest Video" or something like that, where you were sick. Now, I wonder if this was maybe when you were sick with the foodborne illness.
No. What she did is, in that video is she was making the or whatever dish she was making at the time, and she said she'll put a link to that recipe, because she didn't show the recipe in that video. She'll put a link to that recipe on another video she did, taking care of my Falang boyfriend or whatever. That was when I was sick. It was a foodborne illness, but it was when I lived in Bangkok still.
Oh, gotcha.
So she was just referencing it. She was just referencing another video.
I love the video because it's so funny. It shows her taking all the laundry, and it's so heavy she can pushing it out. And then she has my favorite part of the video is the dancing at the end. And that was awesome. So hilarious. I was actually tempted to kind of take that little video and have that be your intro for today. I was going to have her kind of dance.
You should have.
Yeah. It's darn, I should have done that. But she has a great channel. It's called Thai Girl Gift, right?
Thai Girl Gift, right,
Yeah,
right.
and,
And you know, she does her own thing. She does her own editing. She edited that whole video. So she's good. She's
Yeah.
good. If her English was a little bit better and she could get to other topics, she would. I think she would just explode. But gift is gift, you know. She's like me. Sabai. I put a video out. I put a video out. I don't. You know, this is our hobby. This is nothing that we're not serious about this. If that makes sense. I mean, you know, I love YouTube and it's a hobby. It's something that keeps me busy in retirement because that's the reason I started my channel. Is after retire, I worked sometimes 7 days a week, 12, 15 hours a day. I was so used to working that you always hear the story. You retire, this person retires, 6 weeks later, 6 months later, they're gone, you know? I didn't want that to happen to me. So I picked up YouTube as a hobby. And also it's a way to give back to what YouTubers gave to me when I started to, hopefully I'm not getting off conversation, but when I was still in Italy and I was contemplating where I would retire, I watched everything YouTube. And I watched about Thailand after I decided, well, maybe Thailand's the place I want to retire to. So I watched everything about Thailand, cost of living, medical, any information I could absorb. I just wanted to sponge it up. So all of those YouTubers out there that were giving me that information, thank you, because now I do it and I try to give it back. You know, I guess I'm trying to pay back to the community for helping me out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done in the past as well. I think YouTube's a great source of information. So I do want to ask one question, and then I promise guys in the chat, I'll start going to the chat questions. I'm sure like there's all these angry faces. I put a question in there an hour ago, but guys, I'll hit that in a second. But the question I wanted to ask you was around Thai Girl Gift. So you kind of mentioned a little bit about that. How did you guys meet? I know it's a great story. I know it myself, but I'd love for people that aren't familiar with it, how you guys met.
Well, it's a long story. So really, I would suggest people go How I Met My Thai Girlfriend. That really explains it. I have a video out, How I Met My Thai Girlfriend. But just a short version of it is I came to Thailand in April of 2018. I had no idea I didn't even know it was Sung Krung that time. I didn't know, you know, I just booked a plane ticket, booked a hotel, came to Thailand because I was getting ready to retire or contemplating retiring. And I said, where do I really want to go? Now, I've lived in Europe and I've been to other countries, but I've never been in Southeast Asia. And I've YouTubed to Thailand enough to get a feeling that maybe that's where I want to be. Big city, Bangkok. So I came to Bangkok, Sung Krang time. I said, where's all the traffic? You know, everybody talked about the traffic. Everyone was gone. But anyway, I went over to the Chatu Cha market. When I was there, I had my little camera out and Gift's niece asked me, she said, she speaks, she wants to practice her English. She speaks English. So, you know how the younger generation is, they see someone that they think they can talk to, they will. And she started talking to me and she was with her father. And then next thing I know, I'm invited to Sung Krang, the celebration itself, to their town. So I went to their town, stayed there. I met Gift at the time. She didn't really talk at that time. In fact, she wasn't even on my video when I did the video in that little town because she didn't want to be on video. And I respect that, you know, to everyone. So anyway, I went back to Italy. These folks said, we'll stay, if you want, stay in touch with us. I said, I'm still contemplating. I wasn't sure I'd move to Thailand. And they said, we'll help you out anywhere you can. And it was nice, you know. Abby, she spoke English, so it was really nice to be able to communicate with someone. So I guess I was really lucky. Came back to Thailand, tore my rotator cuff when I was in Italy still, needed to get a surgery. They helped me look for condos and I was sending links and then they'd send me information back. I came to Bangkok 3 days, 7 days later, something like that. I was living in the condo because I checked out the condos I had initially looked at online. And then they took me around to get that. So anyway, fast forward, we stayed friends. I'd go over there every now and then on a weekend or whenever they were off. You know, Gift worked just like everyone else in her family, you know, between traveling back and forth to work and everything, 5-6 days a week, 12 hours a day. But I'd go spend time or go to dinner with them or whatever. And when I was getting ready to do my shoulder surgery, they knew I was going to go to the hospital. They insisted on going with me. And then Gift wound up staying in the hospital for 3 nights. She just slept there on a couch. And after that, after I got out of the hospital, that's when I started thinking, because before that, I wasn't really wanting to be in a relationship. I wanted to come to Thailand, travel, and figure life out 2 years after that. Well, life's changed. Life is unpredictable now. But that's how it all happened. And then eventually I just asked if she wanted to go out with me. And sure, well, the family, I don't know, if you want to go out to a lunch with me, just me and you. And she agreed, and we connected, and here we are.
I think it's a great story. I love the fact that she basically spoke zero English when you guys first met.
Yeah,
and now she speaks great English. I feel like her English is pretty good.
Yeah, she speaks better. She speaks good English because I don't speak Thai.
Yeah, and I was kind of giving you a hard time about that when we talked last time. I know that you're fluent in German. There's a lot of videos on your channel that actually have you talking to other German people in their native tongue, and you understand most Italian. You can speak a little bit. But Joe, what's up with the Thai language?
Thai is, truthfully, either I'm too, again, you shouldn't find excuses, because if you want to do something, you can do it. And if I wanted to learn Thai, I could get out there and do it, I'm sure. But even when I speak English sometimes I get, my brain gets twisted. I think Italian or I think German. I can't explain it. And trying to learn another language where the dialect is so much different than where I'm used to in Europe. A lot of times I pronounce words. That's why I don't even like to read people's names or anything, because I go back to thinking about Italian or German and I try to use that, how they would say it. And then I screw it up completely, So, but yeah, I need to learn Thai. And I am. I mean, I know some Thai. I just went out with Klaus and I was able to order my food and pay my bill and everything. So I was proud of myself.
Yeah. You probably know more than you give yourself credit for. A lot of people say I don't speak any Thai, but you're probably pretty conversational. So that's interesting. I had to bust you out for that. It's funny because you mentioned about having German and then kind of pronouncing with kind of a different accent. So my first language I learned in high school was Spanish. And I found that when I was trying to learn Thai, I was kind of saying it with kind of like a Spanish accent. Exactly. So to your point, I totally get what you're saying.
And that's what I do. That's what I do. And it just doesn't work, because the littlest sound in Thai could mean something totally different, as you already know, I'm sure.
Yeah. And Robert McInasia is saying, I met Foreigner Joe and Thai Girl Gift. Absolutely great people, always happy and respectful. When you put your videos same in real life. That's awesome, man. And that comes through, I feel like, in your videos, Joe, like just honest content. You're not trying to be a character. You are who you are.
Yeah. And that's why I tell everyone, I respect everyone. I truly do. And I appreciate everyone. And that's who I am. But the only thing I ask in return is if I respect you, at least show the respect to me as well. Found out in the YouTube world, it doesn't work that way, but that's a different conversation. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Because I know that you're friends with a lot of other YouTube creators out there. Did you sort of branch out a network initially, or is that something that came after a couple of years you decided, I want to meet these people?
Well, before coming to Thailand, I would try to speak to some of these YouTubers. Kevin Thailand, rest in peace. He was one of them. He really helped me out a lot when I was thinking about coming to Thailand. He would communicate with me. Excuse me. And after I got here, he would help me out. He'd call me if I said something, oh, you don't want to do that, He really a great guy. And but what I wanted to do with YouTube, because again, it's a hobby. I didn't want to feel like I was riding on someone's coattails to have my channel grow. So I tried not to do that. I did meet some YouTubers, but I tried to wait till my channel was grown a little bit, because there's people that I really like. I mean, like Scott, or No Time to Be Sad, Chuck, I really enjoyed that content. I mean, I was watching No Time to Be Sad before, and Johnny, Johnny.
Johnny, there's something happening. Yeah.
There's something, in fact, I think he's one of the first YouTubers I had met. Well, no, he's not the first. The first one I actually met was Kevin in Paradise.
Okay.
And then it was, and then I met Johnny, and then after Johnny, I met Chuck and Paige. But again, I want to be me. I try not to watch everyone's. I mean, I do watch because I want to support people's channels. I'll at least click on and let it play through the time. I may be doing something else, give a thumbs up, because I want to help people grow their channels. If I can. I just enjoy helping people. If I can. That's what I try to do.
Yeah, I think if I understand it right, I think Johnny put together a cool little intro for you, the new Foreigner Joe intro. Did he kind of
Yeah, the
help
new
out?
Foreigner Joe. Yeah, he did. He actually he told me, he said, called me up. I got a new intro for you. You know, he knew what I was doing, and you got to use something different. And I could use it, and I do use it, but it depends on the video. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of I don't want to say aggressive, but it's really like, you know, we're going to hit some action here. That's the type of intro it is. So
Yeah.
so that's when I would use it. You know, which I did in my video with my weight loss challenge.
Yeah, I love it.
Because
Man. I think
it worked.
it's great. It's awesome. And how cool is that another YouTube creator put that together and sent it to you? That's awesome.
Yeah,
That just
he's-
says a lot
yeah,
about who he is. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So tough question for you. This is as hard as the questions are going to get, Joe, today. You see, they're pretty easy questions. Joe, any plans on getting married? Joe's like taking a drink of water. And next question.
No, I mean, you know, Gift is a great lady. She truly is. And I have to be honest, you know, I've been with one Thai lady my entire life, and that's Gift, you know, and we just hit it off. She's a great lady. And eventually, yes, we will get married. And I'll tell you what, there's some reasons why we're not at that stage yet. One is, when I first started YouTube, and people would say, hey, if you ever get married, make sure you invite me. And I respect people, because I believe some people would actually come to the wedding. Well, we are in a situation right now that's not possible. So that is kind of holding things up from us moving to the next step, if you will. I mean, I'm not sure we would have done it already, or we wouldn't have, because we have a great relationship. But obviously, you know, I want to make sure that Gift is taken care of when my final day comes. We all want, you know. I've been married before, you know. I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, those relationships didn't work out. Sometimes life is unpredictable. You want it to work out, but it doesn't. And it's nothing bad about the person I was married to or me. It's just we didn't have that chemistry we should have had, you know. It's the way it is. I mean, my first marriage, I was 19 and my wife was 17. She was a German lady, and you know, she got pregnant. We got married. It was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to take care of her. She's my best friend today.
Oh,
we have a relationship. Oh yeah, we have a relationship. When I was in Italy or Germany, she would come over for Christmas. Her and her boyfriend Martin, you know, they've been a partner. They've been together for 30 years now, I believe, if not more. But they're great people. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in my mind of getting into divorces. You know, nothing wrong in my mind. If something doesn't work, you have to divorce yourself from it. You know, you don't like your job, you divorce yourself from it. You know, you can't. You and your friends don't get along, you divorce yourself from it. You and your wife don't get along, you divorce you. If you can't make it work, you divorce yourself from it. So that's what I did.
Yeah,
But
I
Gift
love
is
that. I feel like it's a good statement. I had a quote on one of my videos where I said, "Suffering is necessary until you realize it's not necessary." So
exactly.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll be honest with you. My marriage with my I have one son in college in the States right now. He's 20 years old. Be 21 next month. You know, in that relationship with his mother, we just we didn't click at all. But I waited 9 years, suffered 9 years, and so did she, I'm sure. 9 years before we finally said, you know what, this is going to be more healthier for him to divorce than it is for us to stay together.
Yeah, and that's
But it took a long time for us to come to that, you know. But when we both realized that, you know, because that's the reason we stayed married for him. Sometimes you can't do that.
Yeah. Now, Robert Harmsworth has a statement for you. He says, "We watch Joe and Thai Girl Gift all the time. Really enjoy their videos. Reminds us of myself and my Thai wife, Robin Benchy in Toronto." Oh, interesting.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that.
And then Chocolate Man in Thailand says, 5 minutes hanging around Joe and Gift. You know, that's pretty much a wrap. That is so great. And then one thing, I saw some comments about CJ, same, but different. He did have a motorbike accident. It's nice to hear that he's okay, that he's recovered.
Yeah, I just heard about that. I didn't even know. I watched his last video, commented on his last. He must have just had that accident.
Yeah,
it must have just happened.
From what I understand, I just understand a little bit of. I think he was on his way to meet up James, Lucas, Nick, and Martin and Phil for that food challenge. And I think he got in the accident either going there or somewhere during there.
Yeah,
But
I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because those
Yeah.
man, motorbike accidents happen a lot in Thailand. Joe, you know this.
Yeah, you have to. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Either you just have to remember you have to be the one to watch out because it's everything around you that could be very dangerous and is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Aki is just mentioning, Joe is so well disciplined. Really enjoy watching this interview. It is nice to peel back a layer of the onion here to find out the real Joe. But it's interesting, you're making a lot of great diverse comment, right? So you have the weight loss stuff. You also do a lot of great videos. Now, the ones my mom likes the most is when you interview other Farongs about them coming over and retiring, maybe medical challenges they had, what kind of medical insurance.
Right,
Those are great videos where you're actually interviewing other people. Do you plan to do more of those?
Anytime I get it, I'm a firm believer if there's an opportunity to take it. A lot of my videos are based on opportunity. It's not like I wake up in the morning and I say, I got to go do a video today. I just wait for an opportunity to knock. Somebody, a subscriber says, hey, I'm in Thailand. Can we meet up? I go with my camera. First thing I say to them, you don't want to be on camera. And some of them don't have to. And I listen to their story. And if it's an interesting story, I'll go ahead and post it if they don't mind. But yeah, I plan on doing more vlogs like that. In fact, I like giving interviews as opposed to being an interviewee, as you know. But
yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully this kind of changes your opinion a little bit. It's kind of just like two guys talking, right?
Yeah.
James has a comment for you. Well said, Joe. It's good to hear someone being positive about a Thai lady. Gift seems like a lovely lady, and she is. I hope to meet her at some point when I come back to Thailand as well. I'm a huge fan of her channel. And just guys, so you know, if you weren't listening earlier, so Joe's girlfriend, Thai Girl Gift, has her own YouTube channel, and she's actually has a special going on this weekend. If I understand it right, Joe, no charge for subscriptions, right?
No charge at all. Charge. Just this week.
I kind of mess that up because you might understand, like Kevin Thailand used to say that all the time with his videos. He used to say, hey, I'm running a special this week, no charge for subscription. And it used to make me laugh. I know it was corny, but it made me laugh. And that was the kind of guy that he was. Just he had funny comments like that. But Joe, I'm kind of coming to the end of our time here. I can't believe how quickly the time goes by. But I want to again thank you for coming on the Saturday Live Show, man. You were such a trooper putting up with all of my messages, emails, having other people reach out to you as well. And I really want to thank you, man, for coming on the show today.
Hey, no worries. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone that's in the chatting. I appreciate all of the positive feedback, positive comments. Truly do. You guys make me do this. That's why I YouTube. It's fun. But tell your mom I love her. Tell her that I came on the show for her. Actually, you got a double bonus today. Normally, I'm sleeping. This is my old man time right now. I should be in bed sleeping. So you kind of kept me awake. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for staying up for me. I know it's been a long day for you, but again, thanks for coming on, and we'll hope to have you back at some point, Joe.
Sounds good. We'll get Gift on here one time. I don't know how the English will work, but maybe we'll have a translator for her. Yeah, there you go.
For sure. Maybe we'll have Megan's Journey come on, and she can help us.
There you go.
All right, Joe. Have a good night, man. Thank you.
You too, everyone. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
It's awesome. Love that. What a great guest. Joe just exceeded my expectations for the show today. It just really has a lot of great things to say about his life in Thailand. And I just really enjoyed the conversation. Again, hats off to him for coming on. Boy, I was relentless with him. He was actually very nice to me, but I was relentless. I would not give up. He told me no a bunch of times. I kept going, and he eventually came on. I love that. So I want to kind of go to the chat a little bit, guys, and wrap things up, make sure I'm answering everyone's comments. I will let you know, stay tuned for no other reason for this. So I am going to be profiling a YouTube creator that came on one of my live shows a couple weeks back. His name is Beauty and the East. And we're all trying to get him above 1,000 subscribers. So what I did is I put together a little compilation of Beauty and the East, our interview with some things. And hopefully that'll kind of inspire you guys. Maybe go to his channel and subscribe to it. So hang tight for about 2 more minutes. I'm going to show you a cool little profile of our guest that we had on. Jerry Mossy says, awesome interview. The hour flew by. I appreciate that, man. That's very helpful to hear. I know that Joe is a little reluctant because he thought it was going to be like third degree questions. It's just like a bunch of talking back and forth, and he did a great job. He was a great guest. Great show. Enjoy your interviews. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. And then Foodborne Traveler says, that's cool to see all the YouTubers supporting Pattaya and the culture. And I got to tell you, so that's one thing I see, like that Joe kind of talked about a little bit, was the community that is the YouTube creators right now. And you saw, like, there's a video that Joe went with Thai Girl Gift over to Hua Hin to watch one of the fights that was happening. And he had Esquire in Asia, Ian, you had Johnny There Is Something Happening, all out there and just having a great time watching the fight. That's cool. And that's something that Chocolate Man in Thailand said last week, is like, listen, we can be friends. Like, doesn't it just need to be about networking? Hey, I'll subscribe to your channel, you subscribe to mine. It's all about making friends. You know, you're kind of all in it together. So I feel like that says a lot about who Joe is as an individual. And then Chocolate Man in Thailand, who's actually in my outro, because he's notorious for kind of flubbing the title of Beauty and the East. Sometimes he says Beauty and the Beast. And, you know, one of the jokes I had for Chris, who is his name on Beauty and the East, is I wonder what his demographics look like. I wonder if some people actually subscribe to his channel thinking they're subscribing to Beauty and the Beast and not the East. So we'll take a look at that in the outro. Great guy, great channel. Please, guys, consider going to that one and checking it out. Ian Real, he's a cool person. Yep, absolutely. And I think Robert Mack is putting up the Beauty in the East link in the chat there. So, guys, feel free to click on that. His name is Chris, and he's a great guy. Richard TTT says the new YouTuber Jake will be on if you ask. Oh, cool. So let me make a note of that. And hit me off online on Messenger, and we'll see about making that happen. I will coordinate with Triple T. Makes my life a lot easier. And to that point, it might be a good way to kind of segue about what's the schedule looking like coming up. So, guys, we had Foreigner Joe on today, who was awesome, by the way. But guess who's coming up next? So next week, we have Phil from Le Pub Pattaya, which I feel is going to be perfect timing because of all the stuff that's going on in Pattaya today. And then the following week, we have Haley from a great channel. You guys might not be familiar with this, called Retire in Chiang Mai. And she does a lot of great videos about how you can retire in Thailand, what type of visas are an option for you, this kind of thing. And then February 20th, we kind of have a little bit of a secret guest coming on. So we have the owner, co-founder of the Pattaya News, and he's also the owner of 25 bars in Pattaya and currently one fitness center. So he'll be coming on February 20th. I do have some slots open after that, so feel free to hit me up after that. But I do want to kind of segue into the outro today. I put a lot of effort into this. I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, it's profiling one of my favorite YouTube creators. His name is Chris, and the channel is called Beauty and the East. And I will just please take a look at this outro and consider subscribing. I'll see you next Saturday on the Saturday Live Show. Again, thank you for Joe, Foreigner Joe, for coming on. Go to his girlfriend's YouTube channel, Thai Girl Gift. Subscribe to that. And I'll see you next week on the Saturday Live Show. Enjoy this outro. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
So I titled the live show today, Two Peas in a Pod.
In a pod. Yeah,
because I feel like, you know, all the conversations you and I have had about Ploy, I feel like you guys just clicked.
Man, we did. We clicked like right off the bat. Man, we really get along. I mean, we've had like a mild argument in 2 years. Sometimes about just look, we're cool. That's nothing, you know, whatever. But you know how Thai ladies are. They get mad for 5 minutes and they're happy again.
Yeah,
that's the way I am too, man. If I'm upset about something and I address it, it's over with after that. You know, I think everybody should live like that, man. Like, you know, you got to forgive and forget.
Absolutely. I've been trying to get Beauty and the Beast over 1,000 forever. I want this guy over 1,000. Beauty and the Beast. Go sub him right now. Beauty and the East. Beauty and the East. Beauty and the East.
I don't know, man. I see how short life is. I think I want to take in as many beautiful views as I can.